looks like we're back up again, and it looks like this time we have audio. I had the man come and double check the setup, so hopefully he did a good job. You can always check him out. It's Crispy CRSPY Squirrel, no Crispy CRISPY SQRL on YouTube if you want to see anything he's done. He doesn't do a whole lot now, but he's done some live streaming and stuff for video gaming and whatnot. But yeah, anyway, so he set me up here. So back to what we were doing. Should probably go through the show and tell again. Well, you can actually hear me discuss it. Oh, and I lost my show and tell. Some of them. One, two. Haha. And there might be another earring piece missing, but anyway, okay. So this is what I was playing with in the middle of the week, and I absolutely love these. And I thought I set up to do them again, but I have the wrong base color, and I need the lighter color. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter what the backing is, but it kind of does. I don't know. Anyway, but so this is like shades of just orange on gold, the layer of a dark purple plum, and then the white over it. And then these are just that sandwich between the funky green and copper beige that I make. I don't know why I like this color so much, but I'm going to have to order more of that light green and copper. But anyway, but yeah, so these came out absolutely gorgeous, but I let my inks get a little bit muddy on me. So some of that doesn't have that just glowing fire where other parts do. So I think I am going to run those again. This time, that was what this color palette was, trying not to let the colors get so muddy. And then I was playing with this purple. I think what's happening, actually, that might be the issue, is it might be the alcohol is clouding the foil more so because I added some alcohol to this purple. So that might be a fail. Not terrible, but it loses that absolute fire. Anyway, okay, so these guys are now, you know what? We showed and tell. They could go in a bin if I had an empty bin. Make an empty bin. Ta-da! An empty bin. All right. Those are not out of the way. Those are back there. There's just my towels. All right. And then the other thing I was tinkering with is making those into beads. And I'm going to, oh, I didn't showcase that specifically, but that was one of the other ones. And the fire in that orange, it doesn't show up on camera as much as it is in person. It's insane. So it's cute with the little sunflowers this way. But for some reason, when I did them in beads, I'm like just absolutely in love with these in a bead. So we will show and tell these again in case people came back to hang with us here and weren't there. And I'm also going to eyeball real quick and see if I can't find my live stream to share. Nope. Okay, it's not showing up. But yeah, so I love those sunflowers on beads. I love the way that came out. And then this is those purple and over gold with the off-white. And they made just really pretty little abstracty fun little beads. The color's great. And then this was a one I did previously that was a purple foil, a little bit of purple inks over it with the little tiny butterflies. And yeah, those came out really pretty too. This was another, that same color pattern with a bigger butterfly, but it's a little bit harder to see the butterfly on that. So if all the background pushed down too, then all the white in the butterfly would show up and it would actually outline it and look good. But the roller is less than ideal. And this is one of the sunflower, just the scraps of the sunflowers I put together on a veneer and just threw it on a core and made beads out of the rest of that. And those came out really pretty too. So yeah, I'm super happy with all that. And I wanted to continue. And I started laying all this out while I was thought I was live streaming, but I wasn't putting audio to it and it was a whole mess. So we're restarting. But so these were the colors of alcohol inks I'm playing with. I've got Valencia, I've got Peach Bellini, Vineyard, and Stream. And I'm getting a touch of blue on my screen. This is more purple than blue, but it looks blue on the screen for some reason. But yeah, so I think I messed it up by trying to tone it down with too much alcohol. I think I'm seeing just a little bit of haze when I spritz in too much alcohol. So I'm losing just a little bit of the fire, I think, to alcohol spray also, because that's like matting out the color a little bit. So let's try one more. Man, if I don't add alcohol, it doesn't move. Maybe 1 light spritz of alcohol preemptively. And then we'll drip a little bit of colors into that, and this overtakes so easily. And then I'm going to, apparently I didn't get enough alcohol there. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to pull it off with a little paper towel dab. So it doesn't take over. Okay. I want this good orange. This is Valencia. In there. Up there too. And then throw a little of my stream in here. Not tons, because that's another color that likes to just take over. Hints of that, and now we've got peach Bellini. Actually, going to put it in the edge of that stream to see if I can't get stream to move some. Stream seems to be absurdly still. So that peach Bellini likes to make things move. I think with stream, I'm going to do what I did with the purple, and I'm just going to dab out just a touch of it. I don't want it overtaking. Anywhere it starts to turn that like dark brown color, I want to just touch out. I don't want it. I don't want to lose my metallic of it. Like right there, it got a little too. Okay. The other perk to that is now my alcohol inks will dry faster too. All right, I think that's good. So where the Bellini is, I'm getting mostly just the straight up gold. All right, I think that'll work. Okay, so definitely want some fall leaves here. I'm not sure why I went just the blue. Could throw a touch of that Valencia orange back in there. For some reason, I'm really liking it just as it sits. I guess I'll leave it alone. Not fall. Maybe I'll use that one for these. Yeah, probably. Okay. So let's first start with fall leaves. We have a clean and eeny, meeny, miny, mo for the fall leaves. If I'm trying to redo these guys. Let me actually pick which one I want to set aside that's the most like these. I think this is too distinct. I think that's going to be for those. I sort of want to rematch those. So I'm going to use this one for the fall leaves, even though it is technically the wettest. Enough. Come here, Neefy. There we go. There. The edges are definitely still wet with alcohol. Let it dry. The towel's already hit the garbage because it's been saturated. Yeah, it's one of those days. I think I lost my coffee cup. No, I found it. All right, that's good. As long as we've got coffee, we can get through this. Alrighty. So, yeah, I guess first question is are you actually dry? Oh, yes, we are. Perfect. All right, I'm going to have to hit you up with evil machine. Why do I have so many of these laying down? I can set them. No, my spare rollers aren't over. Roller holders aren't sitting over here, so put all that away. Put you guys away because I'm not rolling beads right now. And yeah, so these were the handful of rollers I was planning on playing with. And then I know we're starting with fall leaves, so I'm just gonna leave this front and center so I don't lose track of it. All right, now we need alcohols can go elsewhere. All right, we need a layer of translucent. And I may not have prepped up a bunch. I bought some baby scraps. I don't think you are actually translucent. This is translucent. And I got baby scrap here. Oh, there we go. There's that with the scrap pile. That does look like that's translucent though, right? Yeah. Okay. So these might have just a tiny tint of coloration in them. A bit that's more purpley over there. It's all clear can come here. And then I thought I saw, there we go. I got more. All right, we got enough to get started. It does look like trans too. I'm just going to pop it in there. All right. So yeah, that's enough to get started with. Rumor has it if you beat your clay with a mallet, it wakes it up really nicely. I have not tried it, but there are moments where I'm tempted to. Yeah, I might be putting a little bit of alcohol ink on here. Let me wipe my hands off. Uh, yeah, this is kind of why I prefer to live stream than to try to put together organized actual videos because this is my process and I am very much just naturally this way. Oh, okay. Where things just happen. And yeah, I am not the best at organizing my thoughts and staying organized. Oh, it's so crumbly. Oh, the edges are always crumbly. Almost there. Ready. Go. Almost wide enough. Wide enough. That's through on a 5. Okay. Over. Cut your edges off. That was the end of my brick, if I remember correctly. So I'll have to pull out a fresh brick and hope it's workable. Yeah, Cernet translucent can be, all the translucents are difficult. They just like to be difficult. All right, so now we have that. And I need to go back to this guy. I should probably pour out this thing of alcohol ink. And oh no, I touched more alcohol ink. Why did I do that? To keep from spilling it on everything, but still. All right, we're gonna stuff a baby wipe in there and put it away to clean later. And now I do have more purple alcohol ink on my fingers. No, I'm in trouble. All right, hopefully I won't tint this purple. Need all of that. Make it squishy, squishy. Squishy, squishy, squishy. Alrighty. And you want this really thin. Leave a piece of that out there for later. And all the way down there. Okay. So I think I should stretch that and make it fit. Stick you down, pull you up, give you a good little stretch. I am on the translucent. Yes. Okay. Last time I did that, I put it on the other side because I flipped it to cut it. Alrighty. Let's see if we can't bubbles pushed out of there. There we go. And flip it and cut it. Or, actually, you're willing to tear off about the right spots. Flippy, chippy, choppy. I was quite happy to do that. Tear off at the edge thing. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. All right, you go there. A little contamination, but it didn't seem like anything too bad. All right, so reset the machine from a 9 to a 0 because, yes. One. Okie dokie. So now that is ready. Need a sheet of paper. Not too. Bubbles in there. Sure, they're under the clay, but still feel funny. All right, burnish our clay down really good. I got leaf oil stuck on my fingernail. That's hilarious. All right, guys, just no crazy business. All right, now I don't need alcohol. I need the water spray bottle. And we're going to spritz out this roller pretty good. The bottle needs to be upright. All right. Give it a little once over. Make sure it's all nice and wet. A little more water because I felt like it got too much lost in the towel. Okay. So I am going to, I like handles when I'm working near the end of, so like if I run it this way, it doesn't necessarily need handles because I've got a little bit of outside. But if I'm running it this way, I want the handles on it. No, I'm going to run over, so I guess I'm still going that way. Yeah, the handles are nice because I like that they give me a little spot to put my pinkies and stuff and really lay into the clay. And I always start just a touch off from that first edge. It helps keep it from wanting to pick up clay. And I want to make sure this goes in really, really, really deep because it's not the deepest of patterns. Here we go. That looks good to me. Set you there. Hopefully I'll not lose track of you. My little holders away. Okay, so there we go. So there is, you can see there is depth to it. It just isn't showing up very well flat, but we've got a good amount of, plenty of leaf to try to pull off. So my little flexi blade, want the long one or the little one? You know what, the little one's sharper. How cool all the veining and stuff. So if you're really, really, really good with the knife, you can just actually slice off all the tan and leave the veining behind. But I'm not usually that patient. There we go. That's a good slice. So yeah, you can steal shavings for laying on other projects too. What happened to that piece I made? There it is. Yeah, this is actually, that was one more I was tinkering with. And these are just those slices off the little sunflowers one. Just lay it on top. I kind of like that piece. It was in the wrong bin. Everything else is where it belongs, it looks like. But yeah, so I want to pull off enough of this that, because everywhere you're seeing the translucent, you should see through to the base colors underneath. So I want to pull off enough of these leaves that you're seeing the translucent, which is why I went so thin with the that top layer. I put it all the way to a 9 and then I stretched it. I don't think we're going to be able to leave any of the veining for detail except maybe on just a couple or on some of the stuff that's on the background. Oh, wait a sec. Wait. Leave that there. And we're going to grab our stain and stain that. No, not Sunbleach. Where's the brown one? Which one are you? Hate being blind. All right, I'm totally missing your name. Where is it? What the heck? All right. I'm blind today. I actually got a set of reading glasses to sit with my computer desk for days like this. But yeah, I want. So what makes these so neat is that, like the sunflowers, is I'm laying in a stain, so that fills all the background information, and then I slice off, and then I get the lighter color with the slice off. So the lighter color still kind of outline what we're doing. So I think with all the info in this, I think it's a good idea to do it that way. But I don't want to get up into that because the stain will cover everything that's already translucent. So I'm going to try to keep it down this direction. So get up, finger, get it moving. Like to move it, move it. All right. I might go ahead and add. Technically, I could grab like an orange or something else and get my colors mixing in a little bit better. But I'm almost wondering if I'd have gone with the extra large roller for this rather than the small one. If that would get me enough more depth that I'd be able to leave some of that veining on the leaves behind, but I doubt it. It really is more of a subtle pattern than a really big bold one. So now all that has to dry. It has to actually dry. So we need to go on to a different one. And we'll come back to that in a moment. This is so pretty. I don't know why I'm so in love with this, but let's do this one next. I am going to need more translucent off of a brick probably, and I need another tile, and I swapped where I was stacking them, so there we go. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need a whole nother brick of translucent. I never leave myself enough room. All right, more translucent. These are relatively new, like maybe 2 or 3 months new. My fingers wet and getting, of course. I am not allowed to play with white things. White is not my safe color. That's pretty dry, but we must be dealing with some underside and edge thickness. Touchy, touchy. Okay. I'm definitely picking up some teal. And I stuck my baby wipe in the container over there. So, all right. Let's try to baby wipe ourselves out of trouble. Usually a good idea. Okay. Let's grab use paper towel. No throwing paper towels on the dogs. We'll have way too much fun with that. Oh man, this is not going to keep any of its packaging intact, so we'll have to make sure it gets protected from all the dog hair. Skinny blade is no good for this. So I like to, yeah, that feels really firm. This is, yep, it's going to be crumbly. It's going to take us a bit to actually get worked out. So I will show you a little bit of my technique on that. Because why not? Why we're live. You guys get to see all the troubleshooting and the drama. So I love, by the way, anybody that ever wonders, it's an Mercado Atlas 180 that Ed Street upgraded for me. And then I added the motor to it. So Ed Street changes the base out and puts it on a big block of acrylic and paints all the sides. And it's just so much sturdier and such a better tool. And one cool thing about these Atlas guys is you can flip, especially once I love having the clear. You just slide those out and the blades come off and you can clean them. So I just did that not right before I got started with everything. So I'm not going to do them again. It was never a bad idea to do them again, but let's see. Let's see how much trouble I get myself into by famous last words. I don't need to do it. All right, so sometimes I'll throw a piece of paper down there just to kind of catch the crumbles that come off this because it's probably going to crumble. And a lot of times, if you do it a little bit thinner, like a 2 rather than a 0, you get a little bit better. You just get through it a little quicker. So, and here we're starting to crumble, crumble, crumble. So I get one little piece semi worked out. It's actually not bad, to be honest. It's looking pretty good. And I am getting a little alcohol and a little glitter in here, so it is looking good. And I just drop that in more. Once I get one piece going, it kind of helps the next piece to work into something that's already moving. As long as I don't overwhelm it too fast, it's completely new. It still helps hold it all together. Direction. That's actually not bad at all. I usually put all the crumbly bits to the inside and mix them in the middle, and eventually we get through it all. No, I'm not going to use anywhere near that much. Definitely wide enough. I'm going to put this on. It's thick. All right. So I got way too much. Probably. Actually, I probably can cut that and save. No, no, no. Oh, I need to yell at the Rottenweiler for being Rottenweiler. He's a nice Rottenweiler. That. Let's sit where that was. Alrighty. Oh, the big dog wants in. Sky dog. She's the good big dog. That's Sky. She's my Rhodesian Ridgeback. And she, I think, turned 10 this year. So she's getting to be old lady, which is why we got the crazy Rottenweiler so she can help raise him. Because it always helps to have the good dog teach the new dog how to be a good dog. But apparently she wants to come in and hang out with us. So she's not going to stop until I let her. She's such a cutie pie, but she'll sit there and just sing quietly the things she wants until she gets it. Stubborn. Need to yell about her. Yeah. She doesn't love hanging out in here because she is a princess who requires 12 layers of memory foam to be happy. And if I put anything overly plushy down in this room, it would get urinated on because intact dogs like to mark everything. It's just a thing. I guess I can just put this over and then roll it. All right. Let's see there. And I don't think with this pattern it's as picky if we get it tight enough. I'm not sure we'll end up staining this one. Alrighty. Slice. There you go. Alrighty. Alright. Starting on a 0, so 1. Good too. All right. And look, there's a piece of paper. Magic. All right. No, I was going to do those flowers in the blue, but I'm almost tempted. I'm going to do this one with the blue. Been hesitating to do this one because I'm not sure. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the tiniest bit of it. Make sure I get that one really, really, really wet. I'm just going to do like half an inch, just a little tester to see if that will actually do what I want it to do. Not that blade, this blade. The blade gets put away. That's why I have a blade holder, is to put all the blades away. Don't need the machine. Let's just see if that gets me. Again, half of the fun of this is I want to leave some of that patterning behind. And just let the fire of that show through. So we'll see. We'll bake this out and see what happens. And that'll tell me if I can use this roller for another project. I hate to waste a whole thing testing whether this roller will actually give me that effect or not. The nice thing about having this recorded is now I know roughly what size my layers were. I think my trans was still on a 5 or a 6 from the previous layer. I think we did do it at a 6 because we wanted it thinner. And my tan was a 9, which was absolutely necessary here. You wouldn't want any more tan than you needed, and it was nicely stretched too. So yeah, right here is what I'm liking and thinking that would make it pretty. Now, if I'm going to leave any of the lacing in there, it would also be nice to stain this as well. But at the moment, I'm just going to test that out. Use that as a tester. Now I'm a little bit wet on the clay. So my little clay ball is not wanting to stick to itself. It's wanting to stick to me instead. So a lot of times once I roll, it's smart to hit it with a paper towel and try to get just a touch of wet out of it before you start slicing it so that your clay doesn't attack you this badly. It's like all about sticking to me. Okay, so that will work. Oh, do I want to just finish it then? That won't line up, but it doesn't matter. What do you guys think? No one's on there to answer my question. Going with it. And stain it. If I keep going with it, I'm staining it. All right. Blue is not doing the flowers, it's doing the butterflies. And I think I'm really going to like it, especially stained. Okay, so make sure we've got full depth on this. All right. Yay. So stain. There you are. Where did you go? It's weird. I had a bubble under there, so some of that lifted up. Oh, actually, wet is fine now because the stain will thrive in wetness. We'll have to get it wetter. Wet enough to take the stain. Not everywhere. More stain. Now, this pattern might be fun to throw a little other extra color in it, maybe. Because we've got just straight blues for underneath. I don't want you taking over that blue because I would like to see what the difference of it without stain versus with. There we go. Now we're getting enough coverage. Oh, if Ultimate, it's a paint company called Ultimate Paint or something like that, or Ultimate Paint, Ultimate Stain. Can't remember the website off the top of my head, but if you look it up, you'll find it pretty quickly. Um, yeah, I like the stains, and so I ordered the stains to try them out, and then I ordered their paint too. Their metallic paint is really nice. It's nice and wet and watery, so if there's places that you want the wet type paint, it's really nice for those situations. Maybe not for every situation under the sun. I think I've shown you my little, I think it's Artesa's the brand. It's the paint I like to use for the most part. It's a metallic gouache. Guache. Gouache. Anyway, it's a metallic set that I found online on Amazon, and I like that a lot too for paint. But it's a thicker paint, so it's like for dabbing and sticking your fingers in and playing with. Okay, you need to dry. There, let's check our leaves and see if they are dry enough. Not yet. We still got wet spots. Still need more places to put back things. And try to clean up the dead alcohol ink. Alrighty. Now, got 2 more of these to do. Again, this is why I bring a few ideas to the table so that we can keep working while things are drying, or if things need to set up, they can keep going. But again, it just fuels my ADHD and makes it all so much harder to keep track of. And to ever finish anything is just, yeah, so hard for the ADHD brain. Oh, I already have one piece over there ready to go. Leave you guys out of it. All right, so you're ready to stick on. I think you'll fit the sheet right on there. Oh, and this guy wants to leave. This guy gets to leave. Stop. Havoc, it's fine. You're being silly. Okay, come. You be quiet. I know. Okay. There was nothing comfortable for her to lay on in here. So she's out. That is how Sky functions. Oh, she cracks me up. She's so funny. Still at the door, like, Mom, I want you. You come out here now. She will probably go lay down though and let us be. Possibly. Oh, good. That stayed mostly clean. There's a messy edge on that, it looks like. There we go. Oh, don't be fussy. No sarcasm over there. Okay. Go. No havoc. Oh my gosh, he tried to jump the office baby gate the other day. It was hilarious. Daryl actually caught it on video. It was so funny. Yeah, I don't think I can share it here, but totally got hung up and just like face planted over. Poor guy. I only laughed because he came out of it totally healthy and fine, but it was just like, oh my gosh, dude, you are way too confident. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens when you get a working line dog. They are gonna do it anyway. That may not be translucent. All right. That one's at a 7 because I needed just a little bit more stretch. So it's going to be a little thinner than we've been doing. See how that works out. All righty. there. Oh, oh, no, 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 no. I'm dropping things on the floor because I just am. I did not make everything clear. All right, you flip two and you flip back over. Nope. Yep. All right, yeah, you can definitely tell that this one's just the tiniest bit thinner because you're seeing. So I just have to be more careful when we slice that. This will get run through the pasta machine, so that'll all push out. Okay, I need more tan. I need enough for two more, so I'll go ahead and roll out all that I have over here. Is that really all? Wow, I mixed up 2 blocks of this. I'll block each of Wow, and I'm almost out of it. Man, I thought I made up enough for a while. I'll have to make more. Enough. You are wide enough, right? Not quite. Yeah, you know what? Let's just redo. You make you wider. Start over. Wide enough. Okay. Also gonna see if I can go. Come here, I gotcha. I gotcha. Just tap down, down on the corner, not the middle. Let's get a stretch. Go. Paper. That's what I was looking for. Amazing how well that somewhat works, but then doesn't always work. All the way to the edge of it. Oh, the dogs have finally decided to chill out. Yay. There's some chewing on some bones back there. Not brand new, exciting bones. Old bones that have been in here a while. That's the trick. Ooh, alrighty. I did put that on the correct side, right? Yes. Okay, good. Go me. Tend to usually only do stupid things once or twice before it's just like an auto memory. And then I find myself checking for that stupid mistake another dozen times. Okay, so am I doing both of these in the sunflowers? Do I want to try it with the sunflowers without the background? I was testing out. Oh, nope, nope. Nope, nope. I was testing out another roller idea, but I didn't put any background into it. And I think hey, 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 hey. Hey. Yeah, so getting fond of, like I said, the reason I like this one so much is because it just has so much detail that I'm aiming for the sunflowers, but I like the stuff that goes on around the sunflowers. But then too much of the pattern doesn't have sunflowers in it. So I stole just the sunflowers because I wanted little sunflower rollers. So I made them like the same size and then scaled that down and made tiny sunflowers, which I like a lot. So I have that one, and then I have like this etched sunflowers. But this one just somehow doesn't lay enough of that outer detail. You just, again, this one you just get rings. This one you kind of just get rings. This you get to see a lot more. That's why I keep going, or sorry, this one, somehow it's like just right. Grab this in the, so again, the sketching and the transformation. I don't know. These are a little bit bigger, which I like. But yeah, so I haven't decided what I want to do. Whether I want to add some toning in here, like bring some of this patterning in, like just the leaves or whatever. Maybe I'll throw some of those in there so this is more interesting. I think I'm gonna leave the small one plain because that's kind of the point of that one. But no, I think I'm sticking with this one. And I might go ahead and do both of these, or do I want to still try out that because I know it'll be pretty? Or do I want more sunflower pieces? I might just want more sunflower pieces. 0, don't forget to change the math machine. Okay. Alrighty. So I'd be insane to try that. Enough of that. Just about. Okay. Then yeah, I will do it that way. Paper. So many bubbles in you. And sanding is an important part of finishing these, so I will be leaving them down on the tile to bake. So the less bubbles they have on the tile, the better. Okay, I think I want to make a couple of those bracelet sets out of this, that I don't end up. Should I just do one that's the sunflowers only? Mostly. Come on, you know you want it. Go, 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 go. Go. Be free. All right, so more big sunflowers. All right, so this one is, I believe, on the sites as tall sunflowers, and it is. See, on the website, I'm offering them in all the tall sizes. So tall, small, extra large, and jumbo. That tall jumbo is, holy God, that thing's ginormous. Oh, I have samples I can show you. They're not in that. God, I still have these hanging around. Yeah, so this is tall, small, and I like it because it's just enough bigger that I can make sure I cover enough area. So it's become my go-to for what I'm printing and hanging on to for myself. Um, that's tall extra large, so it's basically 2 extra larges, and it's so big it's hard to put on the camera. Yeah, so that's a honkin' roller. The jumbo, a regular jumbo, is like that big. So tall XL is not as deep and not as thick, but it's another 50% longer. So I think it's about 4 inches. Is about, wait, about 6 inches. This is about 8 inches, just under 8 inches for the pattern. I think it's like 7. It might be like 7 or 7.5 for the pattern. Let me see. Pattern itself is 7.5, so the roller is a touch over 8 inches. Yeah, roller's a touch over 8 inches, 7.5 is the pattern. So regular jumbo, jumbo double tall. These are not going on Etsy because they take a full like 24 hours to print. And I can't keep up with, and I've only got one printer that can do it, and I'll have to change the color, or I may just print them all in the blue, and it can be quirky. So I don't want to commit to these being easily available, so they're just on the website. And I don't have the XL double tall on Etsy yet either, because to be honest, on Etsy, it's really hard to give too many options per listing. So that's why I started building up the website. Is it will be easier to search, better tagging system. I can do a lot more with the places to find things. So different groupings and stuff. So yeah, the website will be better. At the moment, it's still in the works because I'm constantly doing 15 things at once. If you haven't noticed, I'm very good at that, or not very good at that. I'm not sure which. Okay, I'm thinking. I want to try that other one too. I want to try half of the other one. At least roll one of these here. So we start here. I'm going to go press. And trying to keep even pressure. Even when we switch positioning. I probably could have put handles on that to make it a little bit more to put some pressure into. Whatever. Okay. And then now I'm going to grab that one and just give myself a single line. And see if that becomes interesting enough or not. Again, I missed there. Not enough pressure. Oh well. All right. Now, absolutely need to put our tint into here. And I will want it in all the main bits there too, in the centers of those. So shrinking the size down. Yeah, I just didn't get enough pressure. That's interesting. They might be just long enough that they bow a little bit. I need to put a little bit more intentional pressure to the middle, it looks like. Fascinating to know. We'll need more, maybe not. I just need a little more water to make sure it goes everywhere. Come on, there we go. A little bit extra water. Make sure you fill in all those little notches and grooves. Okie dokie. You can go sit and dry. And let's go back to our maple leaves. That will hopefully be the driest. It's not completely dry yet. I'm just going to buff out just the tiniest bit of that. The color is getting set in there plenty well. We're really going to have nothing to do? Oh, that would be weird with all this that I set up. We might have to start another project. We actually might. Everything is requiring drying time. This is almost there, but if it's not 100% dry, then the ink will leak over into our translucent, and we do not want that at all. So let's stain out some more tinfoil. Woohoo! More clay time. Okay, do I have any spare tiles? Yay, I do. One tile left. Oh, the white and the purpley, yeah, with the orange. Let's do that guy. So that was my off white. Looks like my small container of it is emptied, but I do still have a chunk here. And I should probably maybe wipe my hands before I start playing with stuff. I need to mix those together. That's why that's sitting there. I might, let me see. Chunk of purple go. So that was the purple I was using. Got enough to just put one layer in. And then I'll have to mix up more. And it was a mix of a mixed color. So that's going to be entertaining to figure out later. All right. Baby wipe. Aha. That's still moist enough. Yes. Oh, someone's angry over there. Maybe you holding on to that bone. What are you doing, Keegan? All right. So hopefully we're liking this camera better. Last week's live stream was just a regular webcam, like an older webcam, and it was too far away, and it was not my favorite setup. This so far seems to be much better. The lighting I'm always messing with because I've got a big overhead light, but it tends to throw weird shadows, and usually get better rendition if I just stick with the desk height light that is below my camera level. Is usually what gives us the best output. Something that is appropriate for the light color. Really don't want to touch that much, but I do want to squish it to make it fit. Oh, I'm trying to squish it into its little container, and it's only sort of going. So, alrighty, let's see how awake you stuff is. Looking good. Fold it in half. That's the width of cut. I can't get it consistently. Size for 2 pieces of foil. Stretch it longer. We shall see. And that was, yeah, it was definitely the gold foil. That out still, or did I run through what I pulled? No, wrong drawer. Look, Nan's drawer. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I still got foils. I need one and two. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, should fit two of them. So let's see if I can do this. I was doing really good the other day with laying them down, and then this morning I was just like failing all over the place. So put you down, catch your edge, pull the paper back. Hallelujah. Do it twice in a row, though. That's always the question. Will the ADD kick in and be like, no, I need to try it 3 different ways? Oops. And I don't have quite enough clay under that corner. Close. No, we don't get yappy yappy. Nope, come on. Come on, you can do it. I know you wanna. Little, there we go. Don't ask me why I'm doing this. It just felt right in the moment. It will probably be a big fail, but it felt right in the moment. Doing it. All right, and I'm pretty sure that was just those pairs of oranges that I already had out, that Bellini and what are you? Valencia orange and peach Bellini. Kind of soften it out. All right. So, oh no, I want to keep you here so I remember what I'm doing. Yeah. Hawk wants to say hi. Come, come. Hop, hop. Oh, let me turn. Okay, Hawk, come. Okay. Let's see. All right. There is a way, I think, to control this camera. Let me see. I know I love you too. And we can see if it'll give us desk view. And oh, he's upside down. Hawk, Hawk. You don't know. All right. But we can desk view and say hi to the dogs. That's cool. What? Kismet, you want to see it next? I'll have to figure out how to make that turn over. But anyway, okay, back to working. They had a puppy break. Y'all are nuts. You guys are all nuts. You're crazy. Need my hands back, kiddos. And alcohol ink is drying. Oh, but it's spread nice and far. All right, let me make you go away to make sure I'm still working on the right. Nope, that's the wrong button. There we go. Ah, it's zoomed out though. Rats. I gotta zoom you guys back in. Yeah, that peach Bellini leaves a lot of. Seems to have a lot of alcohol content in it because it clears out a lot. So maybe I should be starting with that instead of finishing with that. Whatever. Where is my little spatula thingy? The white paper's away. I don't know. What do you guys think? More narrow view or the wider view? I go back and forth. It's too hard to change the view on the fly. Oh, I have to cut some of that excess off, but whatever. Yeah, it's quirky to try to change the view on the fly. So it's kind of, I have to decide on one or the other. It might grief me about trying to get this to change back. It wasn't wanting, oh, no, it is letting me zoom today. It wasn't letting me zoom last night when I was testing it out. But yes, oh, so new camera. And I forget what you're called already. Something 360? Link. I have to look it up on Amazon. But yeah, it's a little overhead desk cam. It actually does AI smart following too, so it will actually follow my face if I was face up talking to y'all. But I'm not because that's just awkward. All right. A little bit of extra there. I forgot. This is only going to get us a little bit of time to do something. Go back there because why not? All right. You need to sit and dry. Where did I put maple leaves? I think they're dry. Okay. Yay. Switch to the correct knife for that. All right. Nope, that's not the correct knife for that. I was on. Wait a second. I don't remember now. No, don't take the whole leaf off. Just taking the bits off the top. Very delicate shave work here. And I want to try to make sure I pick up all the shavings rather than letting them get bulldozed into another layer. Normally it's not such a big deal, but I'm not taking everything. So yeah, I'm thinking kind of the goal here. Yeah, see, I'm getting a little bit of bulldozing. I think that's a bulldoze piece too. There we go. Yeah, so the stain was the right idea. Let me get real close for you guys for a second. So you see how we're going to lose all of our details that make it look like leaves? If we just slice off the leaf and we just have the outline shape, it's just kind of awkward. And if we leave anything behind, it's just in the beige. But here now, when we leave stuff behind, we've got multiple colors kind of telling us what's going on. So that fire is going to show through behind. It might have been, oh, you know what would have been cool is if the top colors were green. I might have to try it again at some point. Oh well. Not right now. Because then you could have like green leaves where all the fire starts showing through. That would be kind of epic. Alrighty. So these rollers have all kinds of lifts and valleys to them too. Because again, like I don't design everything for the same thing. And I kind of just play along. And if something comes out cool, it's like, oh, that's going to do something interesting. And then you guys get to figure out what interesting thing it does in your craft room, which may be different than the interesting thing it does in my craft room. However, sometimes I do get to just go back and design stuff exactly the way I want it to do the thing I want it to do. But anyway, yeah. So these guys, intentionally, the leaves are at multiple depths and heights and stuff. Um, because if you are alcohol ink filling it or mica powdering it or playing with glazes on ceramics, God, I love what the ceramic people are doing with these things. It's absolutely amazing what the ceramic folk are doing with them. Um, but yeah, so they play because their glaze is heavier than ours are. So I could probably replicate it if I might have to try that one of these days. I could probably replicate it if we did some uh, liquid clay infused with like that one's I'm gonna leave it like that because I think that's gonna be cool. So if we did some liquid clay infused with color and then saturated around, like filled in everything behind, and yeah, possible to do some really cool stuff that matches the ceramic folks, but I just haven't gotten to trying it yet. But I think I will sooner than later because I think that could be fun. Yeah, trying to expose enough of this translucent that we'll get some fire because we have to get completely rid of some of that tan. So this would have been one to like really, really, really stretch that tan out. Or like I said, I could go back and try it again with the deeper version of this. Don't keep jumbos printed up, but this in jumbo would actually probably be pretty cool for this technique. Yeah, the way these, especially when they use the embossing so that the detailed parts pop out of the glazed ceramic, it's pretty. I'm really liking what they're doing with them. Yeah, it's funny because then that makes me have to like contemplate because like some of their stuff works really well for the scenery type images. So like originally when I first started playing with these, like I came up with a few that were very big and scenic, and I love them, but there's no use for them for the tiny jewelry stuff I was working on because you can't put a whole scene into jewelry, but you put a whole scene on a mug or on a platter. So yeah, just threw them up on the website anyway. And then once the pottery people found them, they're like, "Oh, these are great." I'm like, "Okay, cool. It has a market." Again, I'm kind of wanting that bit of like, I'm thinking that that's going to be a cool effect. Is like some of these are whole leaf shape, and then some of them still have a bit of that veining and a bit of the leftovers behind. You're not going to see through anything that's the tan, so like you're just going to catch the pop of fire behind all the translucent there. So it's kind of like either leave a bunch of tan with all those details or get all the way down to the translucent. It's kind of the game I'm playing. And I want a little bit of both in every area because, oh no, come on, cred roll out of there. All the cred out of there. Right. I haven't actually yet. This is one of the scrap bars from, I'm thinking that would make a pretty bead because it's got the dark stain mixed in with the translucent. There's not going to be much color in it, but I haven't shaped it out and fired it up yet. I'm curious to throw it in the oven and see what it does. That might be pretty beads for in between stuff, but My go-to is making those big hole beads because I use them in my show leads. And what I need to do is I need to throw a handful on Etsy and let you guys buy the ones that I don't, that I'm not planning on using. Now I have a humongous stash of them because it's the easiest thing to do with leftover clay, and I love them, but I've got so many of them. But making any smaller beads than that, I never know what it is I'm going to want to do with them, so I just don't tend to make them. A little bit of fire in every leaf. Okay, so, and then again, the difference in putting that stain in there and not having the stain in there. The stain just makes the whole pattern makes so much more sense, doesn't it? Yeah. So I think I'm happy with the slice job on all of those. There's one right there that I don't like enough. Need to expose more because I didn't leave anything behind. And that's too much. Just the loose shape. Yeah, my favorite are like these right here where you actually get to see the bit of inner or the little corners of leaf parts. So I think those will be really pretty. All right, let's get these cut out and get something thrown in the oven so we can see what's actually happening. And I think I'm going to leave a bit of depth there. I'm not going to burnish this down flat because the depth is part of the story here. Okay, see how that just gives you that rolled out into beads. Might be kind of interesting. Or it might just sit here and let more stuff pile on it because I've got some areas that don't have any visual interest. So, but that part might make nice beads. All right, so shapes for this. Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't know why I'm still so hung up on those rounded rectangles. Those are like, at the moment, they're still like my favorite thing. Oh, I should totally do a bracelet set. So, one of the things I've been fascinated by with the bracelet idea is multiple sizes. It actually might be kind of neat to do. So, like, let's just, I won't get enough of those cut out, but let's see what I can end up doing with those. So, I think that matches the height of that roughly. That whole leaf in that one. And then one more of these. Trying to keep right on top of the other one, but not overlap so I mess up the edge. And then thin, and I think you are the right size for that. Yeah, you're the match size. So connect and like one. No, I think Daryl let Sky out. Now she wants back in. That's about right for her. She's so bossy. And he heard her. Or having jumped the fence, one or the other. Okay, enough. You don't need to yell at what's going on. Okay, it's enough. Yeah. House is always busy with a pack full of dogs living in it. Come here, settle. Just go somewhere. I have to grab something pokey. I'm gonna leave those separated so that I know that that set is what it is. Okay. You can just get shoved in the pile of I don't need you. All right. Pokey sticker. Actually, I might need to go to the have those tight on top of each other. All right. Oh, someone's grumpy. Who's making rules down there? So much politics in a house full of dogs. That's my bone. No, it's my bone. No, it's my bone. All right. So now, is that big enough for a pendant? Probably. Very best space in here. I'm really liking. Ooh, I like that because we go from more detail to no detail. I think that will be very visually interesting. Let's see if you guys can see it. Why I made that decision. So that has more of the veining and the interesting detail, and that has mostly just the leaves. So we get a little bit of everything in that cutout. And I think that will make an interesting piece. Scrappy pile. All right. I don't know why I'm obsessing over scraps, but I am. Okay. Do I want? I like this too here. That has some sort of. Let me see. The long ones. Make one length longer. This one length longer. Just fits. We had some depth change there probably as I was switching my hands on the rollers. Some of it's deeper, some of it's less deep, which is why I think we got, or it was just the way I was slicing, one or the other. But again, I like the visual interest there. Okay, so if I want now to match that for an earring set, I usually like this size, which is a 40 millimeter. And that definitely has that effect. And these would actually make pretty earrings for that too. So I think I'm going to just cut 4 of those out. Two, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to see how many of those guys I can get. Where did you come from? Oh, you were here. That was a 45 millimeter? Yeah. Right, yeah. All right. And then back to these guys. So trying to maximize my spacing here. There. Let's see. Might be able to use there. Okay, I did that without causing trouble. There. And then you for a square. I haven't actually finished any of these, so I don't know exactly how many pieces I need to make it work for a bracelet, but we shall see. And at least even set here. If I go snug enough there, I might be able to get 2 more of that smaller size in. And that just gives me plenty of options for beads. I might need to pull you out. I can get you, and I don't think that last one would work. Okay. That is a very well optimized use of space. Or use of veneer. Got almost all of that in. Which means I'll have almost no big pieces left for making obvious beads, but I should be able to make some, just put that all together and cover, at least get the colors intermingled for a bead set. Okay. All of this separated out. Sweet. Okay. Now I am running out of place to put things. Just sit there. Piece you back together in a minute. I think all of that will just get smushed. Okay, okay. So those go in the oven. All of these back because I can. Where? I need to figure out why I don't have that whole set printed up. I'm missing 2 pieces there. I don't know if I pulled them out to do something with them. And lost them or what? On. Next one is these butterflies. Yeek. Are we actually dry? Or are we still the teensiest bit damp? It's really not going to work unless it's 100% dry. You know what? It is dry. That just has the glaze has a slight sheen to it. Yeah, I think that's sheen on the glaze, not dry. Okay, slicey and dicey it is. Where do we want to start? I definitely want to be subtle because I want to leave some of this filigree in there. It looks like it's wet. But I want to make sure we get enough blue fire showing. I'm going to spin you so I touch of that touching my body so that I have a little more control over that not moving. It's going to be neat. Uh-oh. Nope. Not. No. No. Too deep. Don't do it. But yeah, it's going to be very important to get to where we are just past without getting so far that we do that. You know what? I might change blades. I'm having trouble controlling this one. Let me see. This one I know is a tiny bit sharper. It's a little less flexible. It's a tiny bit sharper. And because it's so little, it's a little easier to manage. That's a really, wow, that's a pretty little, huh. All right, I might actually try to keep a few pieces of this. It's just going to be messy. I'm going to need more tile. Leaf was good. That was good, but I think I was getting too deep on the body there. Stay down. Stay down. Stay where you came from. I don't think any of that's worth keeping. Off my clay. Go away. Off. And keep all of you. That's pretty cool. That might be too deep. It'll still be very pretty. Still really pretty, even though it got a little too deep there. Dozing. Mm. Again, the median detail in this goes just a little bit deeper than it did with the maple leaves. Let me see those two side by side. And the lacing details aren't, there we go. The lacing details aren't all full depth. If you can find the visual on that. They're a little bit more spiky and not as full depth. So because of that, I'm still keeping detail down in, where when I lose depth here, the relief on the veining on this isn't as deep, if I'm saying that quite right. So yeah, I would have to make the relief on that veining a lot deeper, which I don't know if the original artwork would allow that much space or not. So something I just have to play with and see. But that's why this is working better. It and the sunflowers work better is because there's more layers worth of detail. It's not all, I mean that's still got a lot of drama to its detail, but it's less of one depth map where this has got a lot more variation in depth. Nope, get off of my clay. That's my. Oh, come on. I don't want that. Yeah. Things to figure out. Mm. No. Ooh. Will you stay? I think you'll stay. Yes, it's tedious, guys. There we go. Hmm. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to decide whether you want to concentrate on having good shavings or having a good slab. Good shavings are fun to play with. Honestly, it's not uncommon for the pieces I make with shavings being more interesting to me than this slab that gets shaved off. So I am not opposed to trying to salvage some good shavings. Even if it's at the cost to the slab. Sometimes. This will be usable. Got a little deep. pretty shavings. And then again, you're still seeing why using that stain, why taking the time to stain it is helpful. Also works to multi-color the top layer. Oh, we haven't done that yet. So yeah, we'll see how that helps on that other one without staining. That's the other option. Rather than just using one top color, I could multi-layer like a darker brown over the lighter brown, but then I would still have to run that out to a 9 and try to get that as thin as possible, especially if I'm working fine detail like these are. Oddly enough, this has been like one of my absolute favorite rollers to make stuff out of for a while now, because I'm butterfly obsessed, but like as kind of almost inconsistent I would say the patterning is. There's something about that that's really, really, really cool in the way it comes out. So like I don't ever try to grab the whole butterfly. It's always just like a corner of the wing, or things that make it obvious that it was a butterfly, but it's still a reminiscent effect instead of the whole effect. Okay, so through here I didn't get it rolled as deeply. So you're seeing a difference in the way those are coming out once sliced. Or I'm not keeping as much of the brown because I'm not slicing in, not able to slice in as much before I expose too much. There. Want that? No idea how close to the edge I'm going to end up getting. That might have a neat effect to it too. One little corner with all the extra blue showing and that little bit of filigree next to it. Alrighty, here 2 rolled up. Again, all that just variation in color and tone and metal, and I'll probably still make a pretty bead. So for like spacer beads or something. I have rollers that I built for doing that too. I just haven't figured out how to make sure my clay is the right size for them consistently. So, not my absolute favorite thing to do. All right, I could try to get more blue out of here, but I'll lose all the dark. And to be honest, I like both. That is an epic veneer. I kind of wish I had something I wanted to do that would take that whole thing. That's really pretty. Huh. All right. And then, yeah, again, the difference between giving it the two-tone or the stain effect really, 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 really makes a difference on how that finishes. All right. Do I want to? You need just a little bit of detail removed. Oh, there somewhere. Too tall still. Okay. Well, either leave this put and get everything cut out just right, but then I have to do something with all those before I can bake this, because trying to just move them for the sake of moving them is going to be a pain. But this is burnished down so well, I don't want to have to move it either. So, I guess let's cut a few things out and try to come up with what we want to do with scraps. More coffee. Okay. right there seems pretty darn epic, doesn't it? Oh, just so you guys know, I will try to remember to put links to stuff in this when I'm done. These cutter sets, which is it's just the teardrops. I've gotten the teardrops and I've gotten the Skinner blend set. So I've got my Skinner blend set up in a little tray that's available on Etsy and my website. It's all CassandraJeanDesigns.com or .etsy.com, something like that. And then I've got the teardrop shapes. So this whole set is available on Etsy also. So yeah, and you again, no, not on, I'm sorry, not on Etsy. It's available on the website only. Again, the turnaround time on that, it takes me a while to get everything printed, and I'm not going to stock multiples of any of that because I have no idea how well it's going to sell, and they're just a pain to print. So I absolutely need a few days to process that order. But eventually I might get, to where, if they sell enough, I will stock them. On Etsy, I need to put this available on Etsy. It is not, but it is on the website. So again, if you want to go to the tools, I think the website's going to have more of the tool options because like I said, with Etsy, it's just hard to keep things stocked. That's really, really pretty. I like that. Okay, I don't think I want to do another square one though. Might do a long rectangle or maybe the one size up. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking. Oh yeah, with that bit of extra blue on the side. Or do I pick up? Okay, so that's the question. Pick up more of the butterfly or more of the extra blue on the side? I think that's going to be more visually interesting. Okay. Those are going to be really pretty scraps too. Oh, you know what? I have one more tile. It's a little dirty funky, but it's fine. Layout scraps I want to be able to stack back together. Those can all go there. All right. I want to do something with that. I can go to this guy. I'm not going to have enough for earrings anyway, so let's just go a bigger one. Just because we might as well bake it and see how it comes out in comparison. A little bit of experimentation. Why are you being quirky about wanting to cut? Using my hand towel. Paper towels are dirty. I've been through a lot more paper towels than usual. And playing with alcohol ink. Issue. I'm gonna just cause trouble by messing around with this. Maybe that's just alcohol ink stuck down. Apparently. Whatever. It is what it is. Go there. Go back there. Alright. I don't think I want to do another one in long because it doesn't exactly match the style. I do want some earrings for these. That I don't necessarily mind in the long one. Seems like a 40 is often the best. I don't think I get to steal that though. Usually I aim for pieces that resemble butterfly wings. One. think I can get that one for there. Okay, we'll just come down here and snag. That's enough of the wing. There we go. You and really pretty. That's taken up so much real estate to snag that one. That one's way flatter than anything else. So I want them to match enough that they look like sets. So I think I will go ahead and just snag this one. That is really pretty, especially with a bit of exposed. Okay, and then I think the rest of it I'm going to play with bracelets. I'm actually going to run to the bathroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Apologize. Okay. And let's see now. All right, so it was this one, and this one are the sizes for those bracelets. Oh, you know what? I might want to do one of these guys. Right there would be the spot to do them. Yeah. This little cutter is the reason I learned to 3D model. I wanted a papillon shape cutout. And obviously, I wasn't going to get anyone to be able to do that. Just buy it somewhere, you know? So that's what drove me to getting a 3D printer and learning how to model. ADD's fun. Yeah. And it is by far my absolute worst cutter because I can't bevel the edge back or do any of the fancy stuff I've learned to do. But it does still sort of eventually work. In order to make sure that I'm getting cut through, I have to check the back and make sure that I've pressed through all the clay. And I shake it a little, it pulls it back and away from the edges. And the problem is now that it's probably stuck in my cutter. It likes to stick the feet. Oh, it only pulled them up. It didn't take them away. But it gives me a papillon cutout, which makes me so happy. So I'll still use it. Yeah, yeah. It's built on. I have like multiple sets of software I use for building different things. My geometric cutters get built on one set of software, which is why they have the backs that can be. Yeah, I can do all that with them. My trays and stuff, the technical mathy type stuff, all get worked on that set of software, and then I have another software that does my rollers, and then I think there's a third. I'm drawing a blank now, but I'm pretty sure there's a third something I use for something else. But anyway, but yeah. Oh, the cookie cutters that are like so my. I don't have them sitting here. The cutters that match the rollers. So I've got like the critter cutouts where I've got the butterfly wings, and then you can, or the dragonfly wings are the coolest of them. I've got the dragonfly wing roller, and then I've got a cutter that matches it, so you can just cut out the wings. That's such a cool set. That those cutters I can't put the backing into because that's on a whole different program. That was the third program I used. But yeah, so yeah, it gets quirky trying to keep track of all that sort of stuff. All right, so this, like that, probably at least one butterfly, obvious butterfly in the bracelet. You are not that size, you are the size. Don't want to lose that cool piece of foil that's just going to pop. It's so not obviously anything, but it's still kind of cool. All right. Anything else that makes this wide one? I will have to pull you out. Oh no, I think I can get you to right there. I think so. I don't think I sacrificed anything. No, we're good. Don't know. No, I wouldn't want to try that. So I only have one of those. Let me get one more. There. Catches most of that wing too. Yeah, you can see the difference between how thin the edges on these versus how fat the edges on that. Plus, I have to shake it. Too funny. All right, and then one more square. More of that and more of that. I think mostly that. You to capture the rest of that because that was just neat. And then, nope. All right. I think that's everything got used. I'll definitely be rebuilding this because all that coloration will just make pretty beads. I could show you guys how I do that too while we're tinkering today. How much longer I end up staying here. I've got a bunch of prints I need to send to the printer and clean up what was already finished. So I do have a little bit of actual work to do today too. But normally I give myself most of Sunday off from print shop stuff. But I am taking a bit of time to go to a dog show coming up. Very excited about it. My babies get to have their little debut. Lyric and Lumiere they turn 6 months the day of the specialty, so they actually get to show. Karma gets to show a couple days before that, and then my handsome Elvis boy. I like to change the angle on that. My handsome Elvis boy is going as my special, and he is just so much fun to show. And then Hawk, my little love, he's my favorite, but she don't. He was the one up here getting a hug a minute ago, or a little bit ago. He's showing. He is very close to finishing his championship though. And the last weekend of showing hasn't posted yet, so I don't know how close, but he's close. So he only has an entry the day before. What a dark spot there. So yeah, he has an entry in the pre-show, only one day, and then he's showing in the specialty. So, oh, and Fallon, my silly little chicken little Fallon. She is the prettiest thing, but man, she's just worried about leaving home. So she's almost over it. She likes going to dog shows now. She thinks it's fun to show off, which is making me so happy. Um, but she's still a little too soft that I haven't been able to do a ton of training with her because she kind of melts. So I kind of just take what she gives me and I tell her how good she is, and she just keeps getting better and better. So I don't put any pressure on her to learn things. We just allow her to do what she does, and she's getting very good at it. Yeah, showing the girls is a whole different game to showing the boys. The boys will work so hard for you, and they will do everything you ask of them, and they'll learn and they'll figure it out. And the girls are like, "Make this my game, or else we aren't going to play." Yeah, rotten. And I love them for it, but man, they are difficult. All right, all the cutters away. Don't miss one. Okay, so those little wings. Kind of what I was thinking with those wings is if I roll out some beads and then put them on an already shaped bead, it might be really, really, really pretty as texture. And I am not going to have the time to do that right now, so I am going to have to transfer those. And probably just shove them on the side here. Oh, don't mind that. It's that paint that I was telling you about that I like. If I do this and it dries, then I can scrape it up and then it makes really neat like dust to put on something. So I just haven't done that yet. And I haven't been willing to just throw it away because I'm pretty sure at some point I'd be like, oh, I need that dust. But I'm almost to the point to throw it out because I haven't used it yet. So it's probably time to give up that idea. Yeah, so these will just be brown and beige wings. And I'm leaving them face up because it's actually the other side I'm going to want to use. See, like that. That's, you'll be able to see all those details. And that over a color, I think will be really pretty, actually. Now that I'm looking around, I might have just realized that and that is blue foil covered in translucent. That might actually be what ends up happening with that. And I actually got a sheet of it too that's not rolled. Whatever, I've got them half moved. I can finish moving them. They're moving cleanly. Sometimes they're just really sticky and they don't want to pick up. So if they'd been being like that, I would have stuck them down on that already, but they're not. So I'm going to, like this here, it's super thin. And it doesn't want to move as easily as slightly fatter pieces. There we go. Okay. All right. Wow. Promised maple leaves and sunflowers, but we added butterflies. Oh, I love those. Those are going to be so pretty once they're baked. And it's been 30 minutes, so we can probably pull those guys out. At least see what we're working with. Oh, those are fun. Yeah, that's really pretty. But it's almost useless on the ones that aren't stained. So yeah, definitely want to stain. All right. 30 minutes, you can usually see through the translucent, but I usually give it an hour. Are we staining that? What are we doing with that? No, that's the purple one. Okay, so we don't have to stain the other one. So we don't have to wait for it to dry, so we don't have to do it ahead of. Oh, I was gonna, something I will do real quick is smush this together just so I have some more room. So, kind of what I usually do is find straight lines, cut off all the straight pieces. I don't even know what you are. So, chunk there. We've got some straight lines here. And cut off that, that. You with the straight part. You there. You there. Mhm. You. Cut you there too. And two things here. I'm gonna cut you there. I'm gonna cut you there. You off. You off. Straighter the better. Some curvatures can be allowed. Some small pieces can get shoved in to straighten them up. All right. I think we're mostly straight pieces now. Just pull them off too and get them to straighten up. All right, so let's start with something, anything. Push you down, push you straight, pull you off, pull you in. Sorry. So often, just something chunky in there. You can do actually. No, better that way. That works though. Actually, I picked up a butterfly wing. Go down. Go back. Stay. Too close. Flying too close to the wings. Where are you? Alrighty. It's about the size that's missing there. Get you back closer to straight lines again. Chunk of fill there. Almost match that guy. Ooh, got some weird shaping. Just smush ya. And friend. More weird shapes. Actually, around because you're fatter up there, so you can fill that. Put that down. You've got a fun little corner to use, so it will fill there nicely. Oop, broke you. There's a little something down here. Something that's too thin to do anything with. Whatever. That way. And go there. And kind of the whole goal is just to make sure that the colorful parts are up. It's really just about making the color I'm just trying to make a set of beads that will match and have visual interest, but they do not have to be that original pattern by any stretch. But we have all matching color tones. Okay, so that's one veneer done. You're not my favorite blade for that. Swap out to a firm blade. It'll stay down pretty good, and then we can mush. Even just like that. To be honest, I kind of love it with all that up and down texture and all the weird pieces and stuff. If I was gonna just cut out a piece, I would totally do it with that. But I want beads to match this, so I am going to leave them like that, and I will go ahead and burnish a bit. And oddly enough, makes a good burnishing tool. Yes, because it's got flat and it rounds into the flat. There's an assumption of why it works so well, but I really like it. Now, I am going to leave that for now, but I will run it through and thin it out on the pasta machine to get as much veneer out of that as possible. Let me go ahead and grab the scraps from that other piece. I had set up there, so this is the maple leaves. Actually, probably just do that. All right, there's one straight line, mostly. Push down, stay put. And then I can stick you along. And do the same thing again. And you down. And then, let's see. Shove you in there. Pick up butterflies. Fingers away from the butterflies. That piece is wanting to tear off that way. Just doesn't want to fight. I think I have enough here to fill that. But maybe. More than I thought I had. But fade. Mush. Mush. Again, it's a really cool looking piece. And then if I want to, I could more about I just want the colors to have a blendability. I can come in here and pull just a little bit more back to translucent because it should have a lot of jumping around of translucent going on in there. And that'll let more of that fire come through underneath. It won't look as much like almost maple leaves, but to be honest, that part's not that important to me at the moment. And I think just having the color matching all the maple leaves will be smart. Okay, so we've got that piece set. So I have two veneers for later. Leave them kind of out of the way of the tile so that I can put more scraps down as I get them. Okay, so back to this guy. Put that blade away. Moment of coffee. All right, so let's start with these little guys. You back down. I don't plan on keeping any of that, but I just need a place to put scraps, and I took over this whole tile with veneer. Oh, that one's gonna be pretty. So I want to try to make sure that I get all of the tan off of the leaves if I can. Without going so, oh, that would have been nice to keep actually. Are you keepable? I mean, you're mostly just clear. I don't think you have any actual, yeah, you don't have any color to you, so I don't need to salvage you. Like I said, I just really want to try to not have much. At the same time, I want enough detail left behind to make it look like sunflowers and not just a circle. So like that one, I took too much. So a little less. And that wasn't less. There we go. The issue here is that because I just started there, the pressure depth thing is not as much as I thought it was. Bring that in closer so that it's just easier to use for scrappage. You get out of there. There you go. I will say though, these definitely slice easily. No, I did not get enough pressure in there. That's going to be a really pretty one. It's got a lot of color in it. Oops. Hmm. Be a pretty cutting piece though, but I'm probably not going to try to do anything with the cuttings there. Oh, that might be too deep. Bit bitey, and I don't want to do that. Change angle. Again. Oh, I still did it. That is a piece worth keeping though. Maybe. Stop. Eek. Alrighty. Yeah, that's a shame. Again, why am I getting so bitey? Because I'm coming from above, that's why. Alright, so this is higher over here. And then once you start coming downward to try to get into the clay, you're way more likely to over slice. So if you spin it where you're coming up into that heavier spot, you're not going to cause as much drama. Eek. Little balls of clay everywhere. So this one's kind of tricky because like the background parts are minimal detail. They're not very deep. And the sunflower leaves are quite deep. So once my hand gets used to working the background pieces, I don't take enough off the sunflowers. And then once I get used to working the sunflowers, I like gouge the background. And that, like, once you get your hand kind of trained to the action and just go on autopilot, is the best way to do stuff like this, unless you've got multiple depths. And then you're having to play around to be like, I want a little more, I want a little less. I want to keep details, but I was still so much tan you couldn't see through to find. Mm. Hold on 1 second. I want tiniest bit more off the top of the sky. There we go. That's getting me more details and more features. And we need a bit more of the see-through there. There we go. So definitely think it's easier to get good consistent um, sunflowers when it's just the sunflowers and you're not dealing with the background. Unless I let the background just stay dark and stop trying to slice anything off of it. That's another option. I guess I could do that for a minute and see. I didn't want to slice it. Oh, what are you doing? There we go. More. Too much. Just right. I think. Not really, though, because it's still tan. Not. There we go. Aww. Wah, wah. Too much. It's one of those things that is definitely a good thing to get talented at is feeling too much and being able to back out of it instead of it's funny, like sometimes you just get that like desire to commit. Like I'm committed, I'm already going. And you just keep following through and sometimes that's right and sometimes it's way too much. I think in almost any case, as soon as you get that feeling, like it's smartest just to like back out and try again. The other thing too to remember is you did put alcohol ink in here, so you are drying out the clay a little bit. I mean, it's dried and it's on foil, so maybe not an extreme degree, but I think it does still matter. These guys have tons of color in here, huh? You got a huge variety in color. Mm. Yeah, this is definitely one of those patterns that, like, on paper and the design work on it, and in full imagery, I love all the variation in it, like all the little fun leaves and And I said with that butterfly, like having all the little paisley filigree in there, it makes it for a prettier, more complete pattern for the full image. But then when you're trying to like get little tiny pieces out for jewelry, not enough sunflowers. Like part of me just wants to go through and replace everything that's not sunflower with sunflower. But I still think the overall piece is better. But I might throw a little bit of background into just the sunflowers because I think they're kind of blah. Around. At that point in crafting where brain's gone numb. It's hard to find stuff to be chattery about, right? And just get into the flow of the slicing, and yeah, that's all there is. Just slice up, slicey dicey, slicey dicey. Yeah, that was definitely an alcohol ink situation where the edge was just crumbly and crusty. The whole thing decided to come off. Hmm. I'm pretty sure that's why we craft, is to find that just place of mental relaxation where you stop thinking and just tinker. You see, you experience, you feel. And it's less about making the brain work and more about just letting the world come to you. Probably had this conversation a few times, but crafty people just have to craft, don't they? You've got that artistic bug. It's really cute watching like my niece develop because she's an artistic, and she absolutely has to create and figure things out and plot and plan and execute and see how it works. And tinkers with drawing, tinkers with painting, comes over, gets lessons, and like, oh, I had this idea I want to try. And so she comes over at me, picks my brain for a little bit, and then just takes off with it. And I think she's 12, 11, 12. Can't be 13 yet. No, she's still a little one. They grow too fast. It's crazy. And same thing with my mom too. Is always, she wasn't the drawing type, but she can create and she can visualize. And I will say her handwriting is 100% better. I mean, 1,000 times better than mine. My handwriting is garbage, and hers is gorgeous. So her capacity for lettering is very amazing. And she sews, which I am so grateful I got to learn how to sew because not many these days do. And that is absolutely a talent I am blessed to have been able to pick up. Uh, from my dad, I got to go play along with the Boy Scouts for a few years until they got enough older or I got enough older, one or the other, that I was no longer invited. but, but I got to go fishing and hunting with the boys a little bit when I was a kid too, which I loved. Uh, Definitely a bit of a tomboy, a little bit of best of both worlds. Okay, so for comparison's sake again, the artist in me is always going to love all that just the funky visual interest behind stuff versus these are epic in their own way, but I got to fill something back in. So that will not get listed until I adjust it. And I'm glad I didn't already get my photos captioned because I was going to the other day and I ran out of steam and got distracted. And yeah, totally got off on a tangent and was probably for the best. I think with that, I'm just going to smush you all. Oh, see what I'm doing. Smush, smush, smush. A little bit of damp hanging out in there. Whatever, I'm not going to use any of you. There's a few pieces that might have been fun to play with, but I'm hitting the end of the desire to make decisions. That in itself, just as it is, would make a really cool pendant. I'm going to be a weirdo and bake that. I totally am. Yep, that's getting baked. Leveled. Ouch. Touch of the sunflower and a touch of leaf. It's too cool. I don't want you baking on tile. I want you to bake on a piece of cardstock. Because that's what I want. I don't even know which side is better. Probably the side with the sunflower. Isn't it so funny how just sometimes things come out cool without even trying? Turn off. Let me go ahead and pull those down just to show these guys are actually done. They can sit aside somewhere. So that's our maple leaves. I don't know. Now I'm liking those more than I did at first. Probably because I've just been staring at so much dark brown. I'm like, oh, it's time for something else. And then just to show these, I'm going to put them in for half an hour. Butterflies. Came out epic. Those are gorgeous. Yeah, that's stunning. So that was a fun experiment. Yay for a win. Little brick in there too. That run another. Those go another 30 minutes. And cut these out and pop these in. And move the thing away. All right. So we're gonna want to cut something out of these. Debating whether I want to flatten them down so they all match, because a lot of that is flat. Don't get too carried away with it though, but you still want to be able to sand the translucent and shoot down out of the way a little bit extra. mostly flat rather than leaving all the detail popping up. Let's see if that does anything. I almost wonder if I should just do that in beads. I'm still so plain in between though. So nah. All right. I don't know why I'm hung up on those rounded rectangles, but I've been enjoying those. And the little rounded. I gotta go one size up from that. Yeah. One funky part where we missed some. Looks like I didn't get that evenly enough. There we go. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Kelly. Sorry, I was not watching, but thank you very much. Yeah, I know this the style difference is just crazy. Like it's so fascinating how every artist you give them a set of tools and they're all going to come up with something totally different from one another. Actually, back to the growing up thing and playing the Boy Scouts versus the Girl Scouts. I was in Girl Scouts a few times, and I think we tried it for a few months or something. And it was like every time I get in the group to do the group project, I'd be like, I'm gonna take the supplies over here and like turn it into something else. Creative brains are just fun, but they don't comply, and I love it. But yeah, no, it's crazy how just different set of tools, different set of ideas. You can have the same kit and still come up with 100 different things. That's the painting classes. I love watching those. Like going to because of course I can paint at home, but sometimes I'll like go with a group of friends or something, and we'll go do one of those painting classes where like everybody tries to paint the same picture, and it's nuts how differently everything comes out. It's like you look through the room of 20 different people that, some of them know how to paint, some of them don't know how to paint, some of them and there's something about like that. Just, everybody's hand moves in a different way. Everybody just does things differently. And yeah, no, it's really, 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 really cool. I love it. All right. What else to cut here? Could go ahead and just do my regular. That's the bigger size. I don't like that as much. 40 I usually use. So I was saying it's kind of so plain. That background is so plain unless you crisscross these, and I don't have. Maybe I have enough to do that and that. No, like that. See what I mean? So yeah, without having the background fill to keep it interesting. So maybe I will try. Happen these guys. That one. That'll do it better. That's much better. Okay. So you can be an earring. You can be an earring, and I'll just cut out the other two of these because I don't have anything else to do with them. And I that one's got a ton of that just plain fill behind. Which to me, I want to call it boring, but because it's stained, actually kind of really pretty. I wasn't giving it enough credit. All right, I'll stop trying to make things better. Yes. Okay. So the cutters I've got on Etsy alone. I have the Skinner blend set. I still have to make a listing for this guy. And that's 2 pieces. So if you want to find a tray, here we go. I've got these guys out. You can intermix and intermingle and do centered cutouts. And then I have a straight line one that will let you just stack them together. So yeah, these are, let's see. So the Skinner blend alone is available on Etsy and the website. And then on the website, but without this setup, I don't have these guys listed on Etsy. On the website, I have the set that are the teardrops. Where are you guys? So it's all these shapes. So these have actually made it onto the website. Just the teardrop shapes. I haven't gotten everything else printed out and perfected and easy enough to reproduce to sell the all of them yet. But yeah, I'm working on it. But yeah, so the teardrops these are awesome too. I've just been an obsession over the rounded rectangles, so I will do those next. Actually, I'll print up a new set of those and get photographed and all that as soon as I can remember to. But yeah, so and I offer the the teardrops. I have the box and scan my camera out. But yeah, so the drawers are fit in the box. One important thing to note is don't ever put anything hot on top of, like don't set your tile plates on top of these boxes because are made out of a product that is heat set. So I have bowed a few of my own boxes. I have to rebuild all those. So the top shelf doesn't always fit everything anymore. But yeah, that's so that whole set, the 5 drawers with it's 4 different drawers of cutters and then the crossbar and the straight piece and the little handle gets included with it, but I don't have a place where it fits in the box, so I still have to figure out a way to do that. But yeah, so that is the set that I currently have available on the website. And the other thing too that's interesting is you can the trays interlock, so you don't have to get the box. You can just stack the trays together and undo and redo your stack every time you go through. And they are all labeled on the front, so it tells you what's in there. So you don't have to have the box, but if you buy the whole set, it comes with the box. And I don't remember if I have the box. I don't think I have the box listed separately. And then I've got the box set up where it's a 5 or I have a 10. I can print up to 10 drawer slots in one box. So that's the plan there. It's just, again, I do 100 billion things and I've got like all these new rollers to get listed and tested out. And I'm still working on double sizing all my patterns so that as I'm listing them on the website, I can list them with the photos for both the normal height and the double height. So that's kind of exacerbated getting everything on the website. So yeah, it's a thing, but it's a fun thing. And what is life if not overwhelming? It gets kind of boring. Yeah, thank you very much. I am like extremely ecstatically proud of that setup. I think it's like the coolest thing ever. Yeah. And again, I'm such a dork. It's like I do like make things for other people, but it always starts with something. It's like, oh, I need this. Oh, nobody sells this. Oh, I should make this. But yeah, so I kind of start by making them for myself, and then I perfect them for myself, and then once I feel like it's like, oh, this is the product now, then I try to get it up on the website and get things for sale. So like I said, I finally got those cutters. It took me forever to figure out how I wanted to do the backing, and then who is it? Sweetie Bijou sells them where they're the stacking like that. So I don't want to, steal her idea exactly, but it's an idea that I'd already been tinkering with and playing with and had half designed, but just hadn't pulled it all together. So I finally like figured out the rest of it. And then the biggest thing, biggest difference between her setup and mine is the fact that I am offering it with and this thing, I don't know why, but it's just awesome. It makes all the difference in the world for running your, running through those. And then I think it's which set? These guys have the tiny one. And then somewhere in my pile of stash of stuff, I have a tiny little nub that goes on this one. So if you were to order just this set with the small size, then it includes that. And then the other thing too to remember is that these are a half size set. So the big sets are 190, wait, no, 190, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, and 10 millimeters. These are on the fives. So it's 45, 35, 25, and 15. So this is a different size set, the littler ones. That's going to be a different size set than these. So you're not double ordering to get both sets. You know what I mean? You can order this and just have the small pendants and earrings. And then if you find you either want sizes in between or you want bigger, then you can also add the whole big tray and nothing will be duplicated. But yeah, so then when you buy the little set, I still need to put the crossbar piece in here to fit the crossbar. I think I did somewhere. I don't know. Again, yeah, that's the thing of I have to have it all like fully finished and not run off on another tangent of, oh wait, I need a different shape. And forget to finish the whole set. So yeah, that's kind of the thing that happens. Um yeah, well, I finally got my roller holders, got these photographs, so now I need to get them on the website. But yeah, so I got the roller holder rack things and I had to reprint a whole bunch of them because I forgot to take pictures of each, you know, size to put the listings on. So it's 6, 12, and 18, I believe. Yeah, 6, 12, and 18. In small, XL, and jumbo. So, yeah. Anyway, back to cutting these out now. Pick up again. Why did I put everything away? Because I did. I don't think oval. I don't think cat eye. I think, you know what? Might be pretty with these. Hmm. So yeah, this should be a sunflower too. That's where the pattern's missing. I was thinking it'd be cool to do a oh, but that'll work. A big square, and then actually put that on the curved and bake it curved. Oh, I can actually get a little of the height of that too. I don't know. I want to go a little bigger. I want to, or just center on the flowers. Think about there. Yeah. Yeah. And if I can remember, I will pull this one up and I will put it on a dome. One of the other things I've started messing with printing out, but I haven't perfected again, is bakeable bases. And when you get the bigger rollers, they really do just want that handle. Or the bigger cutters, sorry. They just want that little bit of, because that evens out the pressure and puts it into all the edges. And then you don't miss anything. All right. I don't think it'll matter if I pull that up now or later. If I do it later, it's just going to disrupt everybody else once they're shaped. So okay, go. And see where my baking bases. So I found these on, oh gosh, is it Polymer Clay Week? I think that's the website. And I put paper between them just to keep them from resting and snapping on each other. But they're just little glass domes with a very moderate dome. So it's a very nice amount of dome shape for working on clay jewelry pieces. And it is, oh, good, you guys can see. A little tricky to find the center on it. I think I did. It's gonna have a little bit of funk in the back, as it always does. Paper. I don't want to fully burnish this. I do want it to have just a little polish to everything that's up top. I like these because I can still stand on them once it's baked. So I will still be able to sand it even though it's domed. Yep, okay, that works. Wait a minute, put that in the oven because taking, yeah, that other towel will come out probably when I go to do the rest of this. Can't imagine I'm going to need any of that. So let's just get you out of the way. Oh, don't mess up my butterfly wings. All right. So now what else? Yeah, I'm surprised how much I like that backing because it's stained and interacting. Some stain on. How in the world? Get stain on the corner of a cutter. Weird. Oh, I must have used it. I don't remember using that one that big though. No, well, these ones are great. The big square, like that's great for little platters and stuff. And then those domes are actually enough to make a little trinket tray out of. And that's where like doing these big full scenes would be really pretty for. All right, so is that the only square one I wanted? Tray around rectangles back over. I went for some earrings. Sometimes it's oddly fun to like do round earrings with a square pendant. Let me do that. Where's my circles? That's probably a good size for earrings. I wonder if I should dome these also. Try to think where my little. Alright, so what are the colors in there? It's the blue greens, mostly touching the orange, not much of the purple. Like that would be a good one. A little more like that. Like that better. Yeah. And then I think I will use that one. Yeah, that works. Okay, put you away. Okay, and then so those are the rounds to go with the square. Probably gonna want to dome those two, which means I need to get to them, which means oh no, don't do that. Hmm. Yeah, definitely getting a little more reactivity out of the clay this time. Wanting to tear more easily and stuff. So I think that's from alcohol ink exposure. Oh, see, and that seam, it wants to tear on that seam. You know what? That's probably just going to become a thing I'm not going to win the argument on. So I'm just going to give up and let it have a seam. All right. Pull you up. I'm just about to dome you in a minute. Pull you up. You guys go sit over there in timeout. No. Kind of, but not exactly. All right. And yeah. I don't know. Sure, I'm not using that. All right. You know what? You need to move too. Back into there. It's funny how it came out, but it wouldn't go back in. Alrighty. Oh, that's so pretty. I kind of love this torn paper edge on that too. It's a shame I don't have matching one over here. Cut it out. hmm. You itchy, Michi, itchy boy. Little Michi's over there rolling around on his, scratching his back, all belly up, grunting about it. Oh, he's so cute. I love my guys. All right. You're pretty colors, but you're probably scrap for the moment. Out of room. Dropping things. Don't know why, but I really like that. There you go. There's that in that way a little bit. And a little more upright. Yep, love it. Okay. What else are we doing in here now? I do have. Oh, it's a shame. I could do one earring. I might have to do that just because in my way everything. Schmitz on. There we go. And then I don't actually have anything else that's great on that torn edge, but that's still pretty and interesting. It's just not a, my curvature there wouldn't be as good. So I'm thinking I'll use this. A little bigger than. Okay, fine, I think. Sorry, guys. There we go. There we go. All right. So now what? There you go there. I don't really think any of these will make great beads because the sunflowers are so big. So I'm not thinking beads with these. I'll just use the scraps to make beads that are color matched, not pattern matched. Let's see. Back to cutters. Oh, I do kind of want to make the bracelet beads out of this set. That's right, because that's what I wanted. Is I wanted more of those. That's most of the reason I was making this. Now I remember. Alrighty. Yes. Marilyn is demanding a cameo. You want a cameo? Let's see if we can do a cameo. Let's see. Can we go desk view? Is Merlin in there now? Are you upside down? It's so funny. It puts it upside down. I gotta figure out how to. Here, come. What's this, Merlin? What's this? Here you go. Now you say hi, camera. No, can't quite get it. There you go. Oh, no. That's Merlin's cameo. That's too funny that this camera does that. All right, go put it back though. Back to overhead and get my zoom corrected. That's where it was working good. Okay. All right, back down. I know. Oh, everybody else wants a hug now that somebody got a hug. That's always the way of it. Okay, that is a really good square piece. And that will work nicely for that one. And that's organic enough. That should be pretty. There. What about there? I put another square one on that? Not quite. So I'll go with that one. Yeah. And this is pretty over here too. I think that bit of color in that sectional leaf is going to be nice and fiery. I don't know. Out so I can mush you and shape you a little. First of all, let's fix that crack. Hey, Nikki. Nikki, you want the next video? I'm a little torn there. I like a bit of sunflower that's there, but I like the fire color that's there. And I don't get enough of both. How about this one? Ah, there we go. Yeah, I think that's interesting enough. Okay. Into the scrappy pile. Oh, that's right. There's a scrap pile too. That piece might make for an interesting piece for a bracelet. And there. Here. Got two. Or that. Or just make too small. Yeah, I think that's more it. Vegas. Off so the pipe's the same. A little weird that it ran off the edge. Let me get on my cool pendant piece up there. Stop trying to attack things. Stay. Alrighty. So that gives me one square, three of those. I'm definitely gonna want another square. Probably that. Big square. Want that cross of color, or do I want to stick to mostly just this one? If I go with that, then I can still get another cut on the other side of that. Probably that guy. I think I'm going to want to move you out of that spot. Oops, sorry. You guys get to see that one better than I did. Oh, good. I think it held its shape. All right, your scrap. I don't think you have anything I need, although there might be enough of that fire orange in there to be good for a couple small ones, or a small one. Looks like it's going to have enough pop of color. You are not quite of size, are you? Just a little bit. Again, there's just enough of the color elements in there. That might be a good one too. All right. Yeah, it did make it work. Okay. And now I still got this. 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. feel like I should do another pendant out of those because those are just pretty. All right, where's my tall rectangle? Next sized up. I think the color on that's going to be outrageous. Yeah, I think I'll take the whole piece. I may not end up with earrings to match though. Yeah, that's pretty. Carrie wants a hug now. All the dog hugs. You want to try to say hi? Oh, you can try to say hi to the camera too. Let's see. Oh, you're gonna get in there by yourself here. Maybe it'll work here. Come say hi. Say hi. Carol. Go get closer. Come say hi. What's this? What is it? Does it almost say hi? Let's say hi. It's Gary. Geralt the Witcher that ended up getting called Gary. Oh, now you gotta tell everyone you're the coolest puppy that just got a hug and you got seen on camera. Don't get so full of yourself just because you got a hug. Oh my goodness. Hey, wait. That's enough. I know. What's the matter? That's an Elvis. Elvis is gonna get a hug. Elvis, come. Elvis, come here. I know. There's girls in heat. I can't go loving on my boys without making drama. Elvis, say hi. You say hi. Nope, not quite. Not interested. He just wants a hug. Yeah. Girls in season is fun. Very much looking forward to girls out of season. I've only got one in, and I don't think anybody else is due to come in with her. I don't know why she came in alone. Didn't come in with everybody else, but I'm hoping that she's alone on that. Kind of want to do that 40, but I probably won't have enough room. So if I do a 35, I can grab that and maybe that. Let me see. Let's get you off of there. That's a great earring. That might be pretty enough to go with it. So funny how hard it can be to get matched sets of earrings and stuff. Like, man. All right, let me just see if I can get any more of these guys out of here. That's actually quite pretty. Surprisingly pretty. And then thinking something there might work. All right, going down, Elvis. Don't argue with Gary. Gary, don't argue with Elvis. Thank you. The love was equalized. Oh my gosh, they're insane. All their dramatic rules to live by. Okay. I will go throw those in the oven. And then I will probably work out those scraps. Oh, I need to get something to bake those on. So here I have a set of domes. They're very domey for bigger pieces, but I think they'll be, yeah, they'll be about just right for this. Centered, I think you're centered. Look pretty well centered. I think somewhere I have the little Sculpey set of domes too, which at least has two of the same size. These are the same size too. Yeah, so these guys are bath bomb baking or bath bomb molds. So essentially they go together like that. So they are a match set. Again, found on Etsy. Maybe Temu, probably Etsy. Yeah, those are cute. Yeah, that's a really pretty set. I like that set. Let's see how it fires up, but things away. I still have more, or was that? Oh yeah, no, I still have the big butterflies. I'm probably not going to finish that tonight, or right now, to be honest. I'm probably going to go get a bite to eat and do those myself. But I showed you how to set it up. Two colors. Maybe I'll come back when I'm working on them, but maybe not. We'll see. All right, so let's see. Oh, you guys did get to see this. Enough. Room for this to go in. Funky little. That guy will just go in with those, I guess. Just set right there. All right. Out. On that. And holy smokes, that set is epic. I think that's like one of the best things I've ever done. And I don't know why I use anything other than lacy butterflies because lacy butterflies are the most amazing pattern ever, I think, in my opinion. Those guys are gorgeous. Too hot to do anything with at the moment. Oh, let me put these on a tile, maybe. Steal your tile for a moment. I think maybe. I'm gonna crinkle that. Whatever. Oh, I remember the corner I tried to build. That failed pretty spectacularly. I told you it wasn't going to be worth the effort. All right, let me just set all of these on a tile. And just set them on the oven, but it's a little easier to have a tile to sit on. Down the little guy that's on a piece of paper. Back on his piece of paper. And that's all set to run for an hour, and all of that still needs an hour. So we will not get to finishing that. Get the hot plate out of the way. And yeah, now that those are done, those are amazingly fun. And I'm not even offended by the ones that are not stained behind, but I do still prefer the staining. But that's still visually pretty and very, very visually interesting. I guess that's it. Is I don't see the leaf as well here, where the leaves are more obvious in these. Closer. You have to actually go looking for the leaf here. Where these, you still have to look a little to tell that it's a leaf, but you can definitely see it's a leaf. Man, I cannot believe how much that color just fires through. I love that effect. The foil behind translucent. You can alcohol ink it to get some color, and I love it. Such a good look. All right, I'm gonna get out of the way. Hopefully I don't lose it. Grab my little sanding blocks. And we're just gonna give these a quick and fire everything up. All right, back there. So as much as I don't like having to sand the sides and the backs, the ability to do such a thorough and even job sanding the fronts makes it worth having to sand the backs, I think. Again, that's 80 grit, just pads on Amazon. My big fat brush for brushing all the dust into the garbage. Nope. I know. The gate moved. You heard it. Y'all are tough. So yeah, so now, nat. Because I'm sanding, I'm exposing any of the tan. It's getting tanner, and I don't have as much of the brown up in here. All right, guys. Listen. Yes, the Rottenweiler exists. We know he exists. He's a nice Rottenweiler. He's not a bad Rottenweiler. We don't yell at him. That. Yeah. Rawr. Iris, you're so loud. Iris. And really no change on those guys. All right. So next level is that's the rougher side. It's like 100 and 120, and then 180 and 240 if I remember correctly on my grits. And then if I want to get really carried away, I have polishing pads over here too. And same thing, it's not about a heavy-handed sanding, it's just a nice, light, even once over. I'm just looking to polish up that translucent. And then flip it, because that side's the lighter grain. And then next set. What is it? 180 and 240, I believe, and that starts to actually polish this up. Yeah, still can't get over this technique. It's like the prettiest ever. Oh, Midget boy sleeping. Been on my Facebook at all. Cassandra Jean Artist. You've seen the dogs. The little Maverick puppy is the cutest little bugger. He's over there rolling on his back and just being adorable. I think I'm gonna hit them with polishing pads too. Graduated set of polishing pads, again found on Amazon. Just keep them stacked in order. Just put a little bit of a final gloss on. These are just a light little buffing. Minimal pressure, just polishing over. Oop. Not that light. Have more pressure than that. Map. Merlin. Now, Matt. We don't need to yell at him. Hey. Hazel, no yelling. I know the Havoc's doing bad dog things. He's very good at it. Matt. Was he let out or did he jump out again? Oh, there's a person attached to him. Still can't get over. I'm so glad we did the fall leaves, guys. I was gonna forget that I wanted to do this, and then it just popped back into my brain, and oh, I like it. Ah, ran away pad. No. Half of them know they're existing, and half of them go up and play with them and love on them. It's really kind of cute when they do. Tap, 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 tap. Lizzie. Being quiet. No, we're being quiet. You can do it. All right. The dogs say we're done for today. So, yeah, I guess we can be done for today. Guys, settle. Tap, 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 tap. Alrighty. So, yeah, that's those. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely love these. It's got such a fun effect. So tiny maple leaves on this roller. I'll try to not let the ADD kick in too hard, and remember to actually link in the description the website and Etsy are Cassandra Jean Designs. If you want to find me on Facebook, I have a Cassandra Jean Designs. If you want to see the dogs, it's Cassandra Jean Artist. And my personal, and yeah, let's see, are those cool enough to the touch? Yeah, we can grab that now. So those, once they're sanded out, will probably pop even harder. And that, even the non-stained, is still really pretty. I'm glad I cut that piece out. It's nice. And it's gonna be a pretty bracelet set too. Cool. And then it's only been in there 10 minutes, so it's not gonna have enough. It's not gonna be showing any of the background color yet. It usually takes about at least 30 minutes in the oven, clear up enough, and then I typically run everything at least an hour, just to make sure. I've had some where I just didn't get them baked enough. If they're thin like this stuff, I mean, 30 minutes is probably plenty. I'll do it an hour just to be sure. Um, it's very done. Is it's fully flexible, and you can twist and curve and turn it, and it eventually returns to the shape it was baked at. But it, yeah, it's very flexible and not at all brittle. So not going to just snap and break. Potentially, you want it to feel like plastic. But yeah, so the beads, I tend to do at least an hour. If they don't get an hour straight, if I lose temp because I forget to turn, put them in halfway through and forget to turn temp back up or whatever, sometimes I'll bake them another hour just to make sure, because I don't want the beads to be at all brittle, because they go on show leads and the dogs like to eat them every so often. So at least they can get a couple chews in before they break them if they're well cooked. They're bad dogs. I love them, but they're bad dogs. All right, cool. So, yeah, I think we're done with today's project for now. I think it's lunchtime and let the dogs out, and I will see you guys on the next one. Have a great afternoon, and definitely keep crafting, because